On the 29th of July 2014, the oldest YouTuber of all time, Jacksfilms, released the song Raping vs. Rapping. And I wanted to have a look at it today because despite the fact that it's a barely 90-second comedy song about people who can't spell correctly, I think it's also a good representation of Jack Douglas's songwriting habits and what the guy does when he first sits down at a piano and decides to write a song for YouTube. His channel is old enough to legally vote and drink, at least in good countries, and in that time, he's made a healthy amount of songs. Most of them are catchy. A few are even good. So today I'm going to look at his music to find out what makes what he writes so Jacksfilm-y, which does involve a bit of music theory. I will try my best to not lose anyone, but just so you know, there is a lot of music theory ahead. Alright, here we go. Number 1. Dem chords. The song, Raping vs. Rapping, owes its entire existence to the major scale. But that sentence may sound redundant because it's the most common scale found in pop music today. Take this first chord, this fourth chord, this fifth and sixth chord, and you've got the building blocks to basically every song ever. However, this song takes it one step further. If you listen to the bass, you'll notice it quite literally steps down most notes available in the major scale of G. He's starting at the root note, then falling down to the 7, then falling to 6, 5, 4, 3, back to the 1.
Raping versus rapping happens way too commonly.
And Jack is actually quite a fan of doing this.
This is a song to all my haters, please don't take offense.
On his talk show, he and Nothing But Lag spoke a little about how his cover of Look What You Made Me Do sounded suspiciously like the YGS outro, which is true, they're very similar.
Look what you made me do. Help me clean up YouTube.
But neither of them mentioned that when it comes to chords at least, both of these songs sound like the Yai outro as well. Turns out that these two songs, the Yai outro and Raping vs. Rapping, all have the same basic chord structure. Start at the root and step down the major scale. Jack is so obsessed with doing this in his songs that he does it even when he doesn't have to. One of the most common chord progressions ever is the 1-5-6-4 progression, sometimes called the axis chords. And the reason it's so common isn't because people are lazy, but more because the progression is so stable and sound that you're able to write numerous catchy melodies on top of it. It's just really pleasing to the ear. And of course, because of this, Jack has used it before. However, he has a habit of doing it slightly differently. He'll take this chord, the 5, and instead of having the root note of the chord on the bottom, he'll shift it so that it plays the 3rd on the bottom instead, creating a first inverted chord. This slash means over when it comes to chords, by the way. It takes something sounding like this, and it makes it sound like this. You'll notice that the second example is a little more voice-led, thanks to the fact that once again we're going from the root to the 7 to the 6. It's a little more melodious, it has more continuity, and safe to assume Jack likes that sound because he's put it in many of his songs.
Your grammar sucks so much. Where is the Shrek 5 trailer?
Oh, that drama is more popular than content. Sister, I wanna get with your sister.
Your grandma sucks and I am ferocious. Help me clean up YouTube. If you oh look what you made me do. Look, answers in the comments below.
A large part of the Jacksfilms sound is essentially going from the root and then stepping down 2 notes. He even does it if the song's in minor.
I don't like your little games, don't like your tilted stage, the role.
You're a dumbass if your dumbass can't tell the two apart.
And this isn't me calling Jack's songwriting lazy or repetitive. I'd call it consistent more than anything else. He starts out with the same ideas, but branches off into new ones with each new song. His music is full of very simple chord progressions, but rarely do they share just one chord progression loop for the entirety of their duration. More often than not, the chords will change or the tonality of the song will change. If we look at Raping vs. Rapping, he ventures off into different chords fairly quickly.
Not that hard unless you're not that smart.
Later on, he then switches the tonality to minor.
Now I'm well aware that here and there a typo can happen.
Then there's a very strong turnaround, which takes us right back into G major again.
You can't tell the difference. They gotta take your keyboard away.
And that turnaround is further evidence of another thing. Jack loves emphasizing a perfect cadence. What is that? Put simply, it's when you play the 5th chord of a key, which always resolves nicely to the 1st chord of the key. No other conclusion is so instinctual or inevitable. The musical equivalent of relaxing in front of one of Jack's streams, where he pauses the video yet again so we can yap for another half hour.
Is the stream gonna start being entertaining now? I don't know. We can only hope.
Jack not only uses it, he likes emphasizing it. That's why the ends of his songs always sound really nice. He'll really lean into that perfect cadence, whether it be a simple 4-5-1,
Favorites in the next episode of Yai.
Go to Hogwarts with her mind, Ron.
or a 2-5-1 like Raping versus Rapping does.
You have 2 P's, you're Kanye West. If you have 1 P or not.
And that turnaround also uses it, but instead of using a 4-5-1 or a 2-5-1, he instead plays an F major chord.
You can't tell the difference. They gotta take your keyboard away. For Raven versus.
So it's actually a flat 7-5-1. And it also means that he's borrowing from G Mixolydian, which is different from G major because the F sharp is just an F. This chord does not belong in G major, but he uses it anyway, and I'm sorry if you don't understand what I'm talking about. Chords are fun, that's all I really want you to know. I'll move on. Time to talk about number 2, melodious melodies that meddle in my memory, or why Jack's music is just like the Beatles. Yes, I'm serious. Okay, Jack's melodies use quite a lot of notes. In order to showcase what I mean, let's take a chorus from a Danny Gonzalez song. Here we see that I Ghosted Kevin Jonas uses only 2 notes for its melody.
I ghosted Kevin Jonas, not responding to his text. I'm too busy getting checks. You're impressed.
And that's because the focus is mainly in the rhythm of the melody more than how many notes are in it to begin with. Jack writes differently. Raping versus Rapping has a main section that uses a full octave of notes, the lowest being here,
Have 2 P's, you're Eminem.
and the highest being here.
Raping versus rapping.
For a guy that probably wouldn't call himself a singer, Jack writes music that demands a certain vocal talent for pitch. The closer the notes are in a melody, the easier they are to sing. But having notes leap instead of step up to higher notes creates more interest, and so Jack can't help but use them. On top of this, his melodies always have clear direction and intent. He'll use passing notes, which are just notes that don't belong to the key the song is in, to set up really nice conclusions.
Your grandma sucks so much.
In order to do this and make it sound good, you have to have control over harmony, which he does obviously, and the structure of the song. Speaking of which, it's here that I'm going to seriously compare Raping versus Rapping to the Beatles. You may have noticed that when talking about the song, I've refrained from using the word verse or chorus. The reason for that is because the song doesn't have any. Instead of using that method of song structure where you have a verse and then a chorus and then another verse and a chorus, Jack is using the AABA method, which was exactly how the Beatles would write a lot of their hits back in the early 60s. You'll have a main section.
Raping versus rapping happens.
You'll repeat that section again.
Raping versus rapping, well.
Introduce an alternate B section with wildly different chords.
I'm well aware that here and there a typo can happen.
Which then leads right back into the third A section.
Raping versus rapping shouldn't even be a thing.
From there, you then end the song. See what I mean? Raping versus Rapping has the exact same structure as This Boy by the Beatles. They both don't have choruses, as does Yesterday, and A Hard Day's Night, and From Me to You, and I've Just Seen a Face, which Jack himself covered in order to court a crush. And let's not forget that during his time at American University, Jack minored in music theory, so he would have this form baked into his brain. While most of his songs do employ the verse-chorus structure popular these days, he still has a habit of writing his choruses in an AABA form anyway. Introduce a main refrain.
We're all just assholes talking to a camera.
Repeat it again.
We're all just assholes talking to a camera.
Change up the melody.
Do you brag 'cause you're bored? Or are you insecure?
And then lead right back into the main refrain.
'Cause we're all just a bunch of assholes talking to a camera.
Once you notice that pattern, he does this all the time.
Good people don't brag about how good they are. Good people, nah, they don't brag about how good they are. We can all agree that a decent deed can go real far. But good people, don't brag about how good they are.
perhaps it was that minor in music theory, or perhaps it's just his love of the Beatles and Ben Folds. But this is why his music sounds different to other YouTubers who also make music. Jack is writing with a more old school approach to songcraft. His songs are the equivalent of a simple home-cooked roast. It's classic and standard, but it is that way because it's very easy to get behind. Keep it simple, stupid, and then decorate it with nice little things. And he does. He knows when to use seventh chords and passing notes and when to borrow from neighboring scales. But the music itself isn't very complicated because it doesn't need to be. Where other YouTube music has qualities more focused on the wordplay of the lyrics or the sound of the beat behind it, Jack is more focused on chords and melody. Personally, I've always loved that he'll arrange the song so that the piano usually always doubles up with the vocal melody.
Why even try to create?
It's all about reinforcing that as the focus. So no, I don't think Jack is a hack, and knowing that rhymes is just a bit of a fun fact.
It's the same song. I'm a hack.
Stop lying to yourself. This takes talent. I want the main takeaway from this video to be that Jacksfilms and the Beatles write music the exact same way. And that isn't even a joke. I'm being serious, partly, if you ignore a lot of stuff. The only question now is, of course, when is Jack gonna release his version of Sgt. Pepper? I mean, we can only wait. Anyway, thanks for watching. This video was brought to you by the subsection of Jacksfilms fans who actually knew why there was only one t-shirt with blue on it back when Hot Topic sent him a bunch of 21 Pilot shirts. If you want to know more about that band specifically, check out the video I made about one of their old albums that doesn't exist but also does at the same time. God bless. Good night. Alright, you can go now.